Alright, y'all, I'm about to do a raw video. I posted on my Instagram story last night about how no one talks about like the sickness that comes with trying to get out of survival mode. Like when you've been in survival mode for so long, you have found a safe space, you are trying to reprogram your brain, and you're just trying to get out of survival mode, right? Um, so, as y'all know, my birthday was July 29th, so today's the 31st. It was only 2 days ago. And we moved in July 12th, so we only went from being homeless to being in a home for 2 weeks before it was my birthday. And so I even opened up about that, about how I was trying to get myself in like birthday mode, instead of just wanting to sleep all day on my birthday. And if that's what I wanted to do, I was going to do that, trust me. Nobody was going to make me do anything otherwise. But I'm just saying, I actually wanted to, get dressed, take pictures. Like I said I just wanted to get fly and take some fly pics, because before all of this, right, when I only had 6K, and the people that have been following me, like people that know me, you know what I mean? That was me. Like, I'm a private person. Like, I'll pop out every once in a while, but I just like posting pics, looking fly, looking good. Never really been the type of person that really posted my business for real. So that's why it always makes me laugh when people who know me, have followed me since day one, think that since I'm speaking out on abuse and speaking out on things that I no longer could stay silent on, really for the strength of my sisters. If it wasn't for my sisters getting abused and neglected for so long, you feel me? Like, if I would have got them out of that situation, then that's just something I could have talked about on my podcast. That's what people don't understand. But it came to a point where it was like, not only did our whole family fail my sisters, friends, neighbors, the school, principals, social workers, teachers, our own other siblings, parents, hello, the judge, the system, the GAL that was appointed for my sisters, right? Because people would comment under my thing like, oh, your sister should have got appointed a GAL, and she's supposed to be the voice for your sister, and da da da. Yeah, she was appointed. She wasn't the voice for them. She was a voice for our white mother, abusive mother. Yeah. She was a white woman in her late, probably the same age as our mom. My mom's 20 years older than me. I just turned 29. Our mom's 48. So, do you think she gave a damn about two little black girls and then me being gay and obviously a stud by appearance? Do you really think she was going to be on our side? Bro, I remember I literally said to her, no, in the court, right? I brought up, mind you, I was representing myself. Hold on, because she's being too loud. Anyways, I had to represent myself, so I had to bring up everything to the judge, and then the GAL had to like pretty much put her input on it. I remember saying to the judge there were multiple DCFS cases that were opened up against my mom, and she looked at the GAL and was like, "What do you know about this?" She's like, "Well, there were DCFS cases that were open, but the kids weren't removed from the home." That was it. Do you think she probably even reached out to the DCFS to get an exact number of how many cases were open, the date, why they were open? Instead, she said that there were, didn't deny that there were, but said that they were closed. The GAL met with us once. She met with me for probably like 50 minutes. We talked. I told her everything, right? My sisters sat in the lobby. She grabbed my sisters, talked to them for less than 5 minutes, kept the door cracked so I could hear, but so they could be by themselves. She asked questions like, what's your favorite color? Do you like school? What grade are you in? And I do remember her asking them where do they want it to be, and they said with me. But when she got in that courtroom, and then, yeah, so that was the only time we met. We texted a couple times because I sent her their attendance records for the prior year when they was with Mom. She charged me, I think she charged me like $200 to go over those attendance records. So then I knew, okay, you're just money hungry. You don't really want to help in this situation. You just want to add money to it. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. But I just woke up. Like I said, yesterday was the day after my birthday. So it was the day that like me and Hennessy was doing some one-on-one things. So we went to the breaking place, smashing and throwing glass and doing all that, right? My anxiety was really high when I was there. One, because we were running a little late, and so like I have the gift of discernment. I'm a huge empath, and since a very young age, you know, with my mom being a narcissist, I've learned how to parent everybody's emotions around me. I can feel everybody's emotions, their energy, like it feels like a superpower at this point, but it's a superpower that is very draining, but I'm grateful to have it, because if I didn't have it, I feel like I wouldn't be able to tell people's true intentions, I guess. But my point is that I'm an introvert for a reason. I don't really like to be out, because if I am out, I like to be in the cut. I like to be doing my own thing, because every single person that I come in contact with, I read them and I feel what they feel. And I can't just focus on just my feelings. And I'm also parenting, you know, my little sisters and my girlfriend, and to make sure we all good, you know. So I like to be in a cut. I like to be away from the majority because of that reason. So when we had walked in, you know, they were cool or whatever. We really weren't that late because we called and asked about being late, and she pushed it back. But yeah, she was just like, well, since you guys are extremely late, like, I'm trying to get you guys the most time possible. So, like, I don't know, that just put me in it kind of stripped away the fun, you know? So when I got in there, it was like, my anxiety was up here, and I had my little crate of things to break at the wall. But it's also, you know, reprogramming my brain, because you know, I don't ever break anything. Like, that's a no-no. So it took me a little while to like open up, and also we didn't know it was gonna be like that. Like, we thought it was gonna be where there's like TVs and stuff, and you're more so actually breaking. I'm taking my contacts out. I fell asleep with my contacts in. That's how tired I was. We thought it was going to be like actually breaking objects. Instead, it was an empty room with like a smash wall, and you just throw things at the wall. So the crate had majority like alcohol bottles and glass and stuff that's made out of glass, plates, stuff like that. But and then we had this jumpsuit on, and we had this face shield, but like if glass flew, you still get cut on your neck, I feel like. And you know, if you're somebody with trauma and you know, you think of the worst when things happen. So of course me, when these things are getting thrown, I'm kind of like flinching. You know, she was too, because it's like what we have on is not gonna shield you from getting cut from glass. Like, majority of it will, but there's still small pieces. So, you know, there was that part of it as well. And that's what I'm trying to hit on is, you know, when you're trying to come out of survival mode, and you've been in survival mode for so long, and you've been in a mode of fear or fleeing, and like your trauma has, you just been sitting in that trauma. Like, it redefines everything in life. You know, even the things that used to be normal, they don't feel normal. You feel drained after it. So, like, after getting dressed, taking flicks, and we went out to eat at a hibachi spot with my whole family. After that, man, we were beat. We were tired, and we didn't even do anything. It just was leaving the house, being around other people, getting dressed. So, you know, after being used to just going to the Y, showering, putting on whatever we have to wear, normally some basketball shorts and a tank top or a shirt, and chilling in the car, you know. So, yeah, so it also was a little bit triggering, like the throwing the glass and like the alcohol, seeing the beer bottles and the glass bottles, like, you know, that's, sometimes it can be triggering. It just depends. I never know when it's going to really show up as a trigger, but growing up, you know, around a alcoholic mother and a lot of alcoholic family members, you know, that was the scene I kind of grew up in. Was, you know, my mom always being drunk, taking me and my older siblings to whoever friend house she was going out with, and we would stay the night there while they would go out, and then we knew they'd come back really, really late. They'd sleep in all day, or my mom would even drive us home drunk. There was plenty of times when mom drove us home drunk. She'd be in the drive-thru ordering her food, slurring her words. And it just was just very triggering. Or coming home and there's just alcohol bottles spread all over the house. House is a mess. It smells like alcohol. You know, it felt like a dark cloud. You know, waking up and you just waking up in a dark cloud. You just knew nothing good happened. So after a while, that was triggering too. And people probably watching this like, yo, you make everything triggering. You make everything about trauma. Just have fun. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. That's what I'm trying to put y'all on to. You feel me? I wish I could just be like, turn that off. I wish I could throw my backpack of trauma far, far away in the ocean and it never reached me. That's my point. It is. I'm trying to tell y'all. Take care of your trauma. Take care of yourself. Be acknowledgement to yourself, your body, your mind, and soul. And don't think just because you got out of a situation that you're not allowed to feel all of this. Being tired and exhausted is all part of it. Rest is the biggest part of all this. And that's why I try to get people to understand a resting season is not just a couple days. It's going to take months for my sisters to rest. Close, probably maybe even a year, maybe even longer. It's going to take a long time. My sister's sleep schedule is all messed up. You think I'm in there telling them they need to wake up? No. They're sleeping a lot. As they should. And I tell them that. As they should. So I wish I could, but I can't. So instead of wishing that I could do something, instead what I do is I'll be graceful with myself and acknowledge what I've been through. Even though I make it look like ease, and that's the stigma behind trauma. Oh, get over it. You have a home now. You're dwelling on the past. Oh, that happened to you 2 years ago. Get over it. Oh, that was 6 months ago. Oh, that was 10 years ago. I don't care how long ago it was, because the fact that it happened that long ago and it still has left a mark on me, it still has left a wound on me that whenever it's touched or rubbed up against or reminded of that wound, then it all feels like it happened today. That's what y'all need to understand about trauma. Y'all throw around the word trauma and have desensitized it so much that you try to take away from us who carry that everywhere we go. And that's not a good trait to have. So, anyways. So yeah, we went to the smashing place. My anxiety was a little high, you know, but it was short. It was only like, we was in there for like maybe not even 20 minutes. We took some videos, took some flicks, and it was fun for the most part, but, Hennessy was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to make your anxiety worse, or like, but I'm like, this is how we learn, this is how we know what's for us and what's not for us, even if it's something like, this is something that I said that we should do to like relieve some stress. But obviously I don't really like the throwing glass in the bottle part because it just made me a little, you feel me? But going to, which is more expensive, to go to a room that already has, like, it looks like a room with TVs and stuff to actually sit there and just smash repeatedly. Glass, once you throw it, it's broken. There's no need to keep beating it, you know what I mean? So, and then after that, we went to get ice cream. But the ice cream place that we wanted was closed until 5:30. Well, first we went to Urban Outfitters. That's one of my favorite stores. One of her favorite stores, too. We went there because they don't have it at the mall. It's like its own store. So we went there, walked around there. Then we went to get ice cream. But the ice cream place we wanted was closed until 5:30. We didn't want to wait. So we found one down the street. We went there, and then that's when, as we were walking, actually in Urban Outfitters, I started to get a headache. And I was like, babe, I'm starting to get a headache. And that's not a good sign. It was hot, super hot. We in Arizona, it's hot every day. So don't even ask, was it hot? Yes, it was hot today. It was just like every other day. And we're in the end of July, about to go into August, which is the hottest months in Arizona. So, it was really hot. So I started to get a headache while we're in Urban Outfitters, what the hell? As we started to walk to the ice cream place, Hennessy's like, babe, we don't have to get ice cream if you don't want to, because she knows what makes my headaches worse or could trigger them, so like sugar is never good. But at this point, I'm like, yo, I'm hot, I need some ice cream, I need something cold. So we still walked, and then when we got there, my eyes started to hurt. So like I'm holding my eye, I'm like, yeah, my eye's starting to hurt, this isn't a good sign, this is where the headache is going to go from a headache to a migraine. And so I got a banana split because I wanted some ice cream. And at this point, I knew it really didn't matter what I did because it was about to take off. So I was able to eat some ice cream and enjoy it for a little bit. She ate her ice cream. Then my vision went blurry. Not completely. It just went from normal, good, to slightly blurry. And I was like, here we go. Normally when it goes to that point, if I'm out in a car, out and about, I gotta Uber home, which I do not like doing that. I do not like putting my life in other people's hands, especially when I'm in a vulnerable state. When I'm like that and I really can't see and I don't feel good, I don't like doing Uber. One time this happened to me, I was in my car, I had to pull over. I laid in my car until my vision got better so I could drive home. Like, I don't play. And another time, it had happened when I was at the storage, actually. I was homeless at this time. I was at my storage. I got a really, really bad migraine. My vision went completely blurry like that. It really wasn't any type of signs that gradually let me know I was going to have a migraine. It smacked me. So I went and I laid in the back seat of my car. I was outside of the storage. I didn't pull in the storage. I was outside. My car actually had died. So I just laid in the back of my car. I ended up throwing up repeatedly. I threw up blood. At that point, I knew, okay, this is serious. I need to call the ambulance. I called the ambulance. Fast forward, it was about 20 paramedics, EMTs that pulled up, right, with the fire truck. They literally thought I was an addict. I was passed out, but anytime that I pass out, I can hear everything. So they're grabbing on me and yelling at me, you need to wake up, you need to tell us your name, you need to tell us what's going on. And my mind rate is pissing me off because it's I'm passed out, do your job. Pick me up, I'm unresponsive, put me in the ambulance, take me to the hospital. Right? Even if you thought I was a drug addict and you don't think I'm worthy of being in the back of your ambulance, pick me up, take me to the hospital. They thought I was an addict in the back of my truck. In the back of my car. I'm black, they could care less. So, I ended up waking up fully. At this point, I'm pissed. So now they really think I'm an addict. Now they think that they done woke me up without giving me Narcan, and they done messed up my high. Which is not the truth at all. But at this point, now they really looking at me because now I'm pissed. Because now I know everything that they just did. Y'all did nothing. And y'all sitting over here grabbing on me and moving me around to get me to answer y'all. So now I woke up like, I clearly was just passed out, but you're over here yelling and screaming in my face for my name and to tell you that I'm going on, do your fucking job. Right? And at that point, they don't like that. Don't nobody like an angry black woman. But me, I look like a little boy, so they like, don't nobody like no angry black little boy yelling at these white old men. I was like, so then they're like, oh, do you still need a ride? No, I don't. Why the fuck would I get in the back of, at this point I'm cussing because I'm mad. Why the fuck would I get in the back of an ambulance with y'all when I just seen how you treated me when I was in my most vulnerable state? No, y'all can leave. At that point, they're supposed to give me the sign paperwork that's refusing care. I know this because I went to school for EMT, right? They don't be thinking these things. I'm educated for a reason. I've been in a lot of spaces before. So they were like, oh, you don't want to ride? Okay, fuck her then, and left. I still was messed up, y'all. I still needed to go to the ER. But I was not trying to go with them racist ass people, so. This is why when I tell y'all, God be giving me a lot of strength, and I have a lot of strength because I wanted to just lay there. Whatever happened, happened. But I was like, Bree, you need to get to the ER. You were throwing up blood, you got a migraine, something's not right. So I called the non-emergency line. I talked to the damn chief, told him what happened. He told me what team it was. It was like team 2, I believe. Said that he was sorry that happened. He, and 2 to 3 other could come and he could guarantee that I would get the best treatment and they would get me to a hospital. I said, okay. He pulled up, the chief, and he had trainees with him. They gave me the best care and love than 20 of those. They were probably veterans, had been in the fire service and the EMS service for over 20 years. They gave the trainees that aren't even, they're rookies. They treated me better than they did. Let that speak for itself. So my point of all of this is I've been in many situations to where I have had to lean on, EMS and stuff, and it failed me, so I don't like putting myself in situations like that. But anyway, so at this point, I got sidetracked. At this point, my vision started to go blurry, but just a little bit, so I was like, all right. So, we walked back to the car. I turned the AC on and I sat down for a little bit, but my vision it had came back, but I could tell my eye was starting to swell up, my head was sore, and I just wasn't feeling well, but I could drive. I don't play about that. I don't play with my life, and I definitely am not going to play with Hennessy's life or anybody else in the car's life, so I knew that I could drive, but knew I only had a little bit amount of time before my vision. So we made it home safe, y'all. Thank you, God. We made it home safe. I came straight in the house. The AC was already on. My boo gave me some naproxen. She gave me some naproxen. I took some naproxen. I changed my clothes. I laid down. She warmed up some fried rice from the hibachi spot the night prior that we had on my birthday. I banged that rice. I drank some fresh squeezed watermelon juice. She filled my awala up with some ice water. I drank a little bit of water. I laid down and I went to sleep. And Chanel was on the side of me. I cuddled her. I went to sleep. Yeah, I went to sleep at like 4:35 p.m. I slept until now. It's 9:34 a.m. I slept for like 16 hours. We all did. Even she did. Even Hennessy did. She slept there the whole time with me. Well needed rest. You know what I mean? We were supposed to go out to dinner last, and that's why I also was sad, because me and her were supposed to go out to dinner together. Just me and her. And we had a flight, man. We was about to get dressy and all that. And yeah, I got sick, and I was like, at this point, there's nothing we could do. I just have to rest in a dark, quiet place. Oh yeah, she had got me, I had got a dry, dark towel to put over my eyes, but she got me a wet one with ice, and I put it on my eye. So yeah, I've been asleep this whole time. Fell asleep with my contacts in. I got some good sleep. Sometimes when I have a really bad migraine like that, I won't sleep at all because it hurts too much. So I'm grateful I was able to get some rest. And so now we will try again to get fly and go out to dinner, just me and her. My point of this story is that, I'm still in survival mode. I'm not out of survival mode. I'm trying to get out of it. Even when you try to do things like celebrate your birthday, or like, this is why people normally, like your friends or whatever, if they just experienced something, their body and their mind are about to go on a long, bumpy road. And so being there for your friend or being there for somebody you love while they've just experienced something, or they're being re-traumatized, or they're living through something, or they are in survival mode, or they're trying to get out of survival mode. Hopefully my story and the way that I articulate it can help you be a better friend, or be a better lover, or be better support for somebody when they go ghost, or they're like isolating, or they're hibernating. They're taking care of their self. They're taking care of their soul, their mind, body, and soul. And they're trying to get it all on the same page, because 9 times out of 10 they're not. And so they're gonna go days sleeping all day. And I know society makes it seem like, oh, somebody sleeps all the time, they're depressed. This is way more than depression. This is way more than depression. And depression is a serious thing. It's a very serious thing that has I don't know why it has the darkness that it has over it from other people. As in, like, people can just snap out of it, but they can't. So, on top of getting out of survival mode, I have trauma-induced mental illnesses. I struggle with depression, anxiety, social anxiety, CPTSD. I do have panic attacks in my sleep. I'm not sure if it's from sleep apnea or, because I've gotten tested for sleep apnea, but I didn't have an attack in my sleep when it happened. So they said I didn't have sleep apnea. So I'm not sure if it's sleep apnea or if it's just, my CPTSD causing panic attacks in my sleep. But I have that as well. So trauma is a real deal thing. It really is, because people create this trauma for you, especially as a child, right? They create these environments. They drag you through this. You make it out as an adult, and people think, oh, you made it out. You're safe now. Yeah, tell my brain that. Tell my nervous system that. Tell my body that. Tell my mind that. Tell my heart that. Right? Because trauma just sits. And either you'll run from it and you'll keep pushing it down, not trying to deal with it, or you'll drink, or you'll take substances, or you'll do whatever to distract you from it when it comes back up. Because if you push it down, it's always going to float back up. And when it floats back up, and 9 times out of 10, it comes back even more powerful. And eventually, when you try to do this, it won't move. You'll try to do this, and it'll stay right there. And now you're like, you're going to do more, right? You're going to try to do more to stay busy to get that away. The moment it sits there, that means it's there, and you have to deal with it. And you can try to do all the other things to not think about it. You are going to destroy yourself. you're going to completely lose yourself. You're going to destroy yourself. You're going to destroy your family. You're going to destroy everything in your life. So once it reaches that point where you try to push down and it won't go down anymore, deal with it. That's the point in people's lives where you hear where they're like, yeah, no, my trauma came full face. Like, all my childhood trauma played before my eyes. Yeah. And you have to make a choice. Are you going to completely lose yourself over what other people have, the trauma that people have created, that unsafe people created for you? You didn't deserve to go through that, and you don't deserve to lose yourself over it. You didn't deserve to go through it. You don't deserve to have to dedicate the rest of your life to deal with it and to try to find peace and happiness, but you do deserve to be here. And so, it's very hard. You're going to grieve the life that you could have had if you didn't have all that trauma, if you didn't have CPTSD, if you didn't have depression, anxiety, if you weren't, essayed. Like, we grieve the life of, what if my life didn't go that way? What if they didn't do those things to me? What if I didn't see those things? Where would I be today? Right? So, but don't let that grief take you out and not get to enjoy the good parts, because there are good parts after it. And it is a lifelong battle, and I speak on it too, because people think that just because I'm safe and I've made it out, that like I don't have the other part of it. There's still an ugly side of it. I just don't, that's behind closed doors, and I share with y'all what I want. And even when I do, people have negative things to say. Oh, I'm dragging it now. I'm milking the situation. I'm not milking it. This is real life. It's not just a switch you can turn off and it's like, okay, let's go have fun. But, yeah. So, for me, I kept pushing it down myself. I was a runner. Oh, yeah, I was a runner. I'm going to run away from my problems. But to be fair, right, I was a child. I was a teenager running away from the pain. I didn't even know where the pain was coming from. I did not know that it was from my mom. That's what a lot of people don't understand. They're like, oh, you should love your mom through it. You should have helped. I didn't know that I was running from my mama. I was the oldest. I've been a protector of my mom since I witnessed attempted murder on my mom at the age of like 3. I became the protector of my family. So that was the protector of me, my other siblings that are grown now. My mama. I was a protector. I was my mom's ride or die. You couldn't tell me nothing about my mama. Couldn't nobody tell me the truth about my mama then, because it was gonna go straight over, and I was gonna be ready to square up with you. What you talking about my mama for? I was that. I was it. Okay? So me being where I am now at 29 was a lot of reprogramming, was a lot of accepting what really happened. I was so deep in it. So deep in my mom's narcissistic abuse. That's a dangerous thing. A dangerous thing. Because growing up, we were taught abuse is getting your ass beat, getting beat. My mom would always say, I don't beat your ass, I don't do this, I don't do that. What she has. But the abuse was more emotional, verbal, mental. You can't see those scars the way you can see when you got a black eye or you got a mark. And truthfully, I feel like emotional, all abuse is abuse and is bad, and I'm not here to say which one is worse than the other, but I'm saying that they always try to say physical abuse is worse because you can see the scars, but I feel like it's just as bad. So yeah, at the age of 23 is when it hit here, and I tried to press it down, and it wouldn't no more. I tried to run, I was like, oh, I'm finna run this way. It was like, okay, we coming this way with you. So that's when I started to get into therapy. I started to open up about things I never had. I started to talk about my mom. I knew at that point my mom was the issue. I did. And that was the beginning of when I started to see that she was neglecting my sisters. And I was in the middle of that. So, yeah. I started to then, instead of run away, I wanted to run closer to it. I wanted to get answers. I wanted to figure out the truth. I no longer wanted to run from it. So that was the age of 23. And since then, I have kept it here. So, I'm 29 now. And I still believe that I am still very fresh in my journey. But I'm way, way more self-aware. I didn't have a lot of self-awareness pertaining to my trauma, my family, my surroundings, my environment. Right? I was in denial. But that was being conditioned, and I was immune to my environment. That's all I ever knew. So how you gonna tell me that's the problem? No, you the problem, right? And now I am where I am. So yeah, that's just a little chat for y'all, a little raw moment. I'm about to go lay down again. I'm about to drink a lot of water. Yeah.